So we just got to know that Government of India has banned online gaming with money, and through this toy problem, we will try to justify the rationale behind this decision. So let me first explain the problem. The problem is like this. It's a game, it's a coin tossing game. The gambler or the gamer starts with some corpus, and his aim is to double this money, which is also known as jackpot. And he's using a fair coin. Let's assume the game is fair. And every time he wins, he gets 1 rupee. Every time he loses 1 rupee from his corpus. And the game ends when either he goes broke or he hits a jackpot. That's the target. Now the core question is, what is the probability of reaching the jackpot before the gamer goes broke? This addresses the winnability part of the problem. And the second question is, on average, how many coin tosses will the game last? So this addresses the addiction part of the gambling or online gaming. So we're going to do this through a brute force simulation. Let's start. Let's say that we are going to simulate 10,000 trials or 10,000 games, and our initial corpus is rupees 50, and we want our jackpot or the target amount to be 100, essentially doubling up the corpus. And it's a fair coin, it's a fair game. The online gaming platform, let's say it's not biased, there's no trickery involved, so it's a fair platform. And let's initialize a counter that every time the gamer gets a jackpot, this counter is going to get incremented. So let's initialize it to 0. Also, we need to track how many tosses it took for him to get the jackpot, for which I will initialize a variable called tosses list. So this is also 0. And now we are going to go through each and every loop through all the simulations. In fact, this I don't want to initialize it as a variable. I will initialize it as a list, empty list. And so I have to loop through all the simulations. So how many number of simulations? It is equivalent to number of trials. So this is my loop. So at the beginning of every game, I have to initialize the money that the gambler has for that particular game. So that's equivalent to the corpus at the beginning of the game. And then I initialize a variable called toss count. So this is the start of the game. No toss has happened so far, no trial has happened so far. And how long should I play this game? So I have to play this game until the gambler goes broke or he reaches the jackpot. So while the money is greater than 0 and is less than target, I will continue to play this game. So now the game starts. My initial corpus is 50 here. So my money now is 50. So this starts this loop. And so I have to first increment the toss counter. So this is going to get incremented by 1 every time this loop executes. And now I have to simulate a tossing of a coin. So now that can be simulated using a library called random. Basically, it's going to generate a number between 0 and 1, and that's simulating the coin toss. And if this number is less than my win probability, then I have won, then the gambler has won. So in that case, my money will get incremented by 1. And in case if I lose, then my money is going to get decremented by 1. And now what is the success criteria? When do we end this game? So I check for a condition, and the condition is that if my money is equivalent to the target, that means I've hit the jackpot. If this happens, then I have succeeded. So I will increment my success counter. Otherwise, I've lost. So no need to increment this counter. And the second part is, how many tosses did it take for me to reach this jackpot? So that is being kept track of using this toss count. In fact, this should be toss count, and toss count. Yeah. And now I have to save this before this entire thing is wiped out in the next game. So I will append to the list that I had initialized earlier. So how many tosses did it take for the gambler to reach the jackpot for this particular game? I've saved it in this list, and then all these counters and other things get reset for the next loop. So so far so good. And how do I calculate the probability? So my success probability is nothing but number of successes that I had divided by total number of trials. This is my success probability. And how many tosses did it take on an average? So average tosses are all the tosses that are there in the list divided by number of trials. And then I'm going to print these values out. So this basically is the entire simulation of the problem defined here. Let's see if it's working. So here we are. The probability of reaching the target, that is jackpot, before I am totally ruined is 50%, and it will take me about 2,500 games to hit the first jackpot. Now this is interesting. We will simulate 3 different games. This was the first one. The second one is if my corpus is slightly less, instead of 50, I have 40. Rest everything remains the same. So I run this trial again. Yeah, correct. And this time we get 0.38, the probability. It has reduced from 0.5, it has become almost 0.4, and the number of games have also reduced to 2,376. So interesting. Basically, if there's a large gap between the corpus and the target, your probability of succeeding reduces. That can be seen by this reduction in probability. So the third case was that if this game is slightly biased, let's restore this corpus back to 50, and let's say this is biased. My win probability, or the gamer's win probability, is slightly less, it's 49%. Then what happens? Let's run it again. Oops. The probability of win reduces drastically. Now I just have 12% chance to win this game, and that too I will be pulled towards ruin much faster. Now only 1,900 games is all it takes for me to completely get destroyed. And that has just happened by only 1% variation in my probability of win. So what happens if let's say, if this game is more unfair, the gaming platform is biased. Let's say my probability of win is 47% and the platform's probability is 53%. Let's see what happens then. I have no chance of winning this game. I'll be totally ruined if I continue to play this game, and this time my destruction will come much earlier. It'll just take me 800 games to completely destroy myself. And that has happened just by a slight change in this probability of win. Just 3% change in probability of win, or 3% unfairness, can completely wreck me. This is something very startling, and that's the reason why people get totally conned. And this destruction will come much quicker if my corpus is less, or if my greed to increase my target is more. Let's say here my corpus is 40 and the platform itself is biased. Let's run this. I have no chance of winning anything from this platform, and this time destruction will come much quicker. Just within 668 games I'll be completely destroyed. So you see there's a pattern that is emerging here, and what's that pattern is, my probability is actually probability of winning such a game or hitting the jackpot before getting broke is actually nothing, but it is my starting corpus and the target that I've set for myself. In the first case, I had a corpus of 50 and my target was 100. Hence, my probability was 0.5. Probability of winning the jackpot before going bust is 0.5. Now, when I have a corpus of 40 and my target is 100, this probability dropped to 0.4. So this formula is at play. Your starting corpus divided by your target is your probability of win. Now what happens if there's a biasness in the system? And before we go there, let's see how many games it will take for me to reach the jackpot. And for that, it again depends on your corpus. For example, in this case, in the first case where we had corpus of 50 and target of 100, my starting corpus was 50 multiplied by my target. Yeah, corpus was 50. So if you remember, it had taken me 2,500 games to reach the jackpot, and this formula is at play. When I changed it to 40, it became much lesser. So it became 2,400. So you can see these are all formulas that can be derived analytically. What is the lesson here? The lesson is like this. If you have ill-defined your target, if you have not put any cap, when you're going to walk away from the table, you are 100% going to get destroyed in this game. Then what's happening is that you are actually playing against the casino, and casino has infinite money, and you're trying to grab that infinite money, and this game will continue for a very long time, resulting in your complete destruction. That's number one. Number two is, if you have set your target too high, your probability of win will reduce. So if you had just 10 rupees and you wanted to multiply them 10 times, even if the system was fair, your probability now is just about 10% probability of win. So there it is. And it'll take you 919 games to reach there. So that's the another takeaway. The third is, even a bit of small unfairness built in the game can cause your complete destruction. So let's go back to this and run it again. Just a small cheating in the game, which the designer of the game has built in, can completely destroy you. There's no hope of winning any such game. There it is. Within 800 games, you'll be completely destroyed. And that's the reason why 45 crore Indians are continuously losing money to the tune of 20,000 crores. Thank you.